This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez, Jay McLovin, and Frankie the Yankee. How's it going, guys?
Doing good. Doing pretty well.
I have no complaints. It's another beautiful, amazing day out here today, so it's all good in the hood over here.
I'm loving life.
Although we did lose to the Lakers, which we're not going to talk about that right next. I'm sure that's going to come at some point when we start talking NBA. But damn, that was a good game last night. It's a good game.
If it's okay, real quick, I wanted to touch on the NCAA women's tournament.
Yes.
Had 2 games last night. Texas and TCU. It was rough, bro. Jay, who'd you root for in that one?
Oh, I always go Texas. Texas is my number one team. That's my team. But I like the fact that TCU was in there. But yeah, no, I always go Horns.
Texas won, beat TCU by 11, and then UConn beat USC by 14. Wow. So they both move on to the Final Four. So the Final Four matchup for Friday, Texas against South Carolina, both number 1 seeds. And then the second game on Friday night will be UConn, a number 2 seed, against number 1 seed UCLA.
Ooh. I like both of these games. Honestly, I really do. I think that Texas South Carolina is going to be a good game. South Carolina's got a pretty good squad over there.
Yeah, it should be good. I think I'm gonna go with South Carolina and UConn in the finals.
Nah. Oh, I see what you did there. Oh, okay, man. Okay, no, look, I can't fault you for that. Like I said, South Carolina has a really good team, so. I think I'm thinking UConn, Texas, but I don't blame you for picking South Carolina. I don't.
And you can't count UCLA's got a good team too. Chris, what do you think about that? What do you think about the Final Four?
It should be pretty good. It just sucks because I think USC would have had a better chance to advance to the Final Four if Juju wouldn't have got hurt. But I think it's going to be South Carolina against Connecticut in the championship game.
How about you, Frankie?
I think South Carolina wins it all.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Chris there, honestly. From the very beginning, I thought, USC was going to at least make it to the championship with Juju. But once Juju got hurt, we knew at some point in this tournament they weren't going to make it all the way. Congrats to them either way, making it this far to the Elite Eight. But, man, it's gonna be a great Final Four between these 4 teams left over. I really like the UConn versus who are they facing again? I forgot.
UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA. The UCLA women's basketball. They're a really tough team. And remember, they didn't lose their first game until they faced Juju, and that was like late in the season. So this is going to be a good game between UConn, who's being head coached by one of the legendaries to ever coach the game in women's basketball, versus a nice competitive UCLA.
And that Paige Beckers for UConn she's been balling the last couple games in that tournament. Well, she put up almost 40 the other night.
That's why I went with UConn over UCLA because she's playing so well right now. But yeah, I agree with you. I think I'm gonna go with South Carolina too over UConn. I think South Carolina is the strongest team. But I wouldn't be shocked if we seen Texas UCLA. I think all 4 teams are pretty strong.
Yeah, Texas was heavily favored at the beginning of all this, and they have a good squad. But I understand how good South Carolina is. I don't take that game lightly, one bit. Any more lightly than the Houston and Duke game. I feel like that's going to be another one of those type of games. But yeah, we'll see, man. Anything can happen. I guarantee if Texas wins, I'm gonna let all you people know.
Okay, guys, we'll do a little bit of Major League Baseball real quick, and then I know we got some NFL and NBA too.
Hey, you're really right. I can't name one player in UCLA, bro.
I can't either. Chris did, but I could. Okay, MLB. One thing I want to talk about a little bit because I seen a little segment on McAfee today was the torpedo bats. They had Sean Casey on to talk about the torpedo bats, and I didn't realize that they were made in Louisiana, and also that players go there and have them bats made specially for each player.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of all that, but
Well,
I did.
technically, they came out of Pennsylvania.
What they were saying is being made right now in Louisiana.
No, that's what I'm saying. Typically they've been made out. There's a guy named the Bat King. Pags was talking about it today, and I didn't realize that. And I looked it up, and yeah, they were out in Pennsylvania, but yeah, they have switched over to Louisiana, which is where they're at now.
There's multiple bat companies that make them. There's not.
Oh no, I understand that.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wonder what kind of wood they're using. Are they using oak or what type of wood, or maple, or what exactly are they using to make these bats?
Yeah, I don't know. I know they're completely legal, is what Casey said, and I do know that De La Cruz used one last night and also hit 2 home runs.
Oh, well, he used the torpedo bat last night.
First time.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that torpedo bat. I think that's going to grow exponentially. I hope the Astros get it. Shit.
And that news regarding the torpedo bats, I heard earlier this morning that there was teams that was actually using them last year.
Yeah, there was. There was if I remember right, I think there was 8. I think the guy said today there was 8 teams that were players off of 8 different teams last year had been using the torpedo bat some.
Freaking Mike, man. I love you, Mike. You're an asshole.
It's going to happen a lot more now. Also had Jackson Profar banned for 80 games for the Atlanta Braves. That was a big pickup that they got. Well, it was supposed to be a big pickup that they got at the beginning of the season, right before the beginning of the season. And he's out for 80 games. And also, if they make the playoffs, he can't play in the playoffs. What do you guys think about that?
I'm sorry. I was still thinking about what Mike was just saying to me. Say it one more time. Mike done got me over there with I love you. I love you too, Mike. I'm sorry.
Talking about Jackson Profar for the Braves getting banned for 80 games and also will miss the playoffs if they make the playoffs because of PED.
Yeah.
He violated the PED policy.
I think you guys said it perfectly in the pre-show. It doesn't make sense that you're going to give them. You're going to let them play 82 games, but not let them play the playoffs. Well, why not just go ahead and ban? It just makes more sense. Just if you're going to go that route, then just ban him the whole season.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. I never knew that was part of the policy. I didn't know that. And also, I seen he made a statement that he would never. He was trying to make it sound like it was an accident that he took it. In the statement he made, he didn't say that. But that's a way. I mean, I would never take anything. So it didn't make a lot of sense. The statement didn't.
I mean,
No, I don't think any of that makes sense, to be honest with you.
If we be real for a second, okay? It doesn't matter if he's suspended 80 games and he don't make it to the playoffs or he's not playing in the playoffs. Let's be real. Nobody in the Atlanta Braves are going to be playing in the playoffs come October.
I can't say that, Frankie, because there are teams out there. It's 162 games. There's teams out there that get off to slow starts, find their rhythm, and then get back into it. I know Spencer Strider, I think, is getting ready to come back into the rotation. But no, I'm not going to say they're going to miss the playoffs, Frankie. It's too soon for that conversation.
Yeah, you have to literally watch their game. The first series against San Diego.
Yeah.
Now they're going up against the Dodgers. Bad. And nobody is hitting. And then you got someone who's trash at doing stupid base running. So, I mean,
right.
They're picking up in every category for the Atlanta Braves. I could say it right now. That's going to be my hot take. My first hot take of MLB season is that the Atlanta Braves will not make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. They put a lot of things into these pre-workouts now. Back when I started working out many years ago, the pre-workouts were very, very. There wasn't a whole lot of them. There was just a few, and now they've got literally thousands of pre-workouts, and they have so much stuff from amino acids to you name it. They're stuffing it with just all taurine and everything else in their mother. So, but I will say this: if your livelihood is based on being clean and stuff like that, you've got to really read, because this is the first time that we've talked about this, where somebody takes something and doesn't real. No, you got to read them damn labels. If you're making millions, you need to read. And if you don't know, hire somebody. There's a lot of nutritionists and scientists that can tell you what's in these things. Where you make enough money to know this and do your own damn research. I'm sick and tired of this crap that, well, I didn't know what I was taking. No, you know what you're taking because you're not that stupid.
They know. Fernando Tatis Jr. was taking it mid-season. He knew, but he wanted to come out and say something about dealing with his son. I forgot what he was saying, but he knew. And I got mad at it. You want to know why? Because he changed the career of Anthony Rizzo. He tried taking his head off because he had strong ass leg muscles from using.
I'm just saying, when this is your livelihood, I mean, anytime I've ever had a livelihood, when I was in the military and things like that, there are certain things we couldn't take either. And I made damn sure that I read every damn thing on that. And if I wasn't sure about it, I didn't take it. I just left it alone. There's too many people out there that have medical degrees that can tell you what's in this stuff. Or write the company. Hey, listen, I'm ex-athlete. I'm thinking about taking your product. Can you give me a list of all the ingredients in your product so I can make sure? And then have your lawyer, whoever it is, look it over. Make sure what it is you're about to put into your body isn't going to come back to jeopardize your career. I mean, this is just an average generic person telling you this. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Not everybody's perfect like you and never makes a mistake.
Oh, I'm not perfect. Come on. I'm not perfect. But you know what? Hey, watch this shit. I ain't perfect, but I got common sense. Now, I understand common sense ain't always common.
And I'm sure he has common sense, but sometimes there's stuff in these pre-workouts and stuff that are not on labels.
That's why you contact the manufacturer and
So
you give you a detailed list.
You can't do that with everything you eat and drink. You can't be calling a lawyer and calling people before you.
If I make hundreds of millions of dollars, you damn right I'm going to call them.
I don't think a lawyer or a doctor. I think, like he said earlier, maybe a nutritionist.
Yeah,
I would hire somebody to tell me what to take, and their job would be make sure nothing's in it. But I think he knew what he was taking. That's just my opinion.
Oh, he might have. But
that's just my opinion.
But there's also cases where things happen and you do take stuff without knowing it.
It's not impossible.
This is Jay. You are a former veteran. Thank you for your service. You've been overseas.
Appreciate that.
You've done many tours, and I know you've tried many things, sir. Okay, we're brothers. Mm-hmm. I know things, but I'm not gonna throw it out there. But you're gonna
appreciate it.
But you're not going to sit here and tell us that, overseas you didn't try something that could have, changed your weight or changed your muscle styles or anything like that overseas, because you're trying something you never tried over there.
I will tell you, I never did anything like that. In terms of body lifting and stuff like that, back when I was actually doing that stuff, I never took it to overseas. I always got my stuff from, local manufacturers here stateside. I didn't do anything overseas. I didn't take anything overseas.
Okay.
But I will tell you this. I have done roids a few times in my life. When I was back to my no, it's okay. I'll talk about it. It's okay. Back in my early 20s, about middle 20s, when I was at that time, I was in a break of service. I was doing, but I did. But I knew what I was taking. I knew I was putting in my body, but I didn't have to answer to anybody at that time either. Now I have to answer, or I had when I joined the military, or when I had jobs where I had to answer to somebody, I always knew what the hell was going in my body.
Let me ask you something, Jay. Do you think there's anything wrong with people taking steroids?
No. If it's illegal, then yes, you got to follow the rules. But I don't like the roids and things like that, because I know what that kind of stuff does to your body. Now, I took it willingly and knowingly what it was going to do to my body anyway. I just didn't care when I was in my 20s. But if you knew the effects of what steroids has on the body, then you wouldn't want to touch steroids.
The reason I ask is because I've heard Bully Ray say on the radio before, I'm busted open, that he takes steroids and stuck steroids. Yeah. He said he went to a doctor, got them prescribed, took them as prescribed, and so what he used them for more than anything was for recovery.
For sure.
When you're wrestling the ring and you're wrestling 300 days a year, it made a big difference on recovery time.
For sure they do. For sure.
But he said he took them as prescribed. Didn't take more than he was supposed to, that type of thing. So I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Well, when I was in the military and I blew out both my knees in Afghanistan. When I came back to help me get back, the doctor would put, and I don't remember, there's an actual physical name for it. I don't remember what it is, but they would shoot these syringes into both of my knees, and they would put those platelets in there that help you to heal quicker. I don't know what the actual name is. It's been so damn long. It's been over 10 years ago, but I have done that to help the growth, the regeneration part. Now, I don't know if that's illegal in sports or not, but yeah, I have taken that kind of stuff before.
Well, now we know why his baby small.
Hey.
I think it's like anything else.
That's
To me,
yeah, that's definitely a disclaimer.
Yeah, to me, I think steroids are like anything else. If you are going to take them, you got to take them the right way and take them however your doctors prescribe them to you. You can't abuse them.
Yeah.
It's when you start abusing them is when it's going to cause you problems, just like with anything else.
Yeah, I agree. And Frankie talking about Atlanta being trash right now. I watched the game last night, the Dodgers in Atlanta. Atlanta does not look good at all. They look terrible right now.
Yeah.
And I just want to question now, Chris and Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're using, doesn't that make your power stronger? Don't like you're supposed to look like a supernatural, crazy Hulk athlete type person when you're using.
Well, hold on. That's not correct. When you're the reason why people take the roids is because it helps your performance, right? It helps give you that oomph, that little bit of extra motivation inside of your body. What makes you get bigger, what makes you get stronger is the protein that you put in to replace the torn. When you're working out and you're lifting weights and doing like that, you're ripping your muscle apart. And then when you rip the muscle apart, there's a gap of space in between the muscle fibers. And when you put that protein in your body, that protein fills in the gaps in between those muscle fibers. So when they grow back, they don't grow back to where they were. They grow back to where the new protein is. And that's what gives you the strength. And that's what gives you the size that you're looking for. Now, again, steroids are there to help you give you that. It's almost like, like when you crave something and all you want to do is keep going and 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 going, and your body doesn't know when to stop because you're so hyped up on that. It's more of that kind of thing. That's again, the weights, the power that comes from what the steroid gives you internally in terms of your chemical balance inside your body. That's what helps you. Or that's what it's supposed to do. And
the recovery.
Yeah.
They do. They keep recovering at a faster rate.
Which helps you be able to grow muscle at a faster rate if you're working.
But also, don't forget the aminos. It's the aminos that really truly help you with that recovery rate as well. Taking amino acids. So yeah, so now it's a whole complex thing, man. I mean, it's a damn science. In fact,
know that the men in baseball that take steroids are doing it for a certain reason, and to Jay, it's like taking Viagra.
Well, that's fun.
Ooh, I'm on another one, boys. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, guys. What you want to do? NFL or you want to do basketball?
Well, before we move on, real quick, what got a stat? I want to ask you guys a question. How many last year? How many pitchers do you think in Major League Baseball threw a pitch over 100? At least one pitch over 100 miles an hour.
How many pitchers?
Yes.
Had one pitch in a game.
How many different pitchers threw at least a pitch over 100 miles an hour in Major League Baseball?
I'm gonna say. I think of all the teams that had those kinds of pitchers. I'm gonna say at least 10.
That's way too low. You got to think starters, relievers, closers.
Well, that's true. Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking starting pitchers, but okay. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna take a stab at it. I'm gonna say 30. With all those other, I'm gonna say 30, at least 30.
I'm gonna go in the 40s. I go in the 40 range.
I'm going 18.
No. You know what? No. I'm gonna go mid 25s.
64.
Damn.
Shit, I should have said the 40.
Hey, remember they say in school, don't second guess yourself, killer.
That's how much the pitching has changed, though, because back years ago, there used to be only maybe like 10 guys that could even get up to 100 miles an hour. Now you had 64 guys throw over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's nuts. But I mean, I agree with that because I think technology has changed. That's why I think we're seeing that such increase, right? The type of weightlifting has changed. Like you said, the what you put in your body has changed. There's so many things in technology that has changed the way we train and the way we build muscle and things like that. And also the mechanics. I mean, There's a lot, but yeah, I mean, we're definitely much further ahead than where they were back in the day, for sure. I mean, hell, I remember when I was in high school, Brad Bohannon, my senior year, that would have been in the 80s. That was like 80s in 86. He graduated high school throwing 104-mile-an-hour fastball, and he got picked up by the Rangers. He actually played in the pro league with the Mets and the Colorado Rockies, and he had over 100-mile-an-hour pitch. This is back in the 80s.
What's the relief pitcher? Pitch for the Reds, pitch for the Yankees. Chapman.
Aroldis Chapman.
He's still throwing. He still can throw in the hundreds.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's in his middle 30s at least.
Nolan definitely had a 100-mile-an-hour heater back in his day.
I mean,
He had a
before he got hurt in the winter in the baseball classic, Edwin Diaz used to get up to 100.
Yeah. You know what's really changed a lot since those days. Not only has the speed changed, but the type of pitches and the movement in the ball has changed quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Well, the pitching philosophy has changed. It used to be all about velocity. Now it's all about spin rate.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
It used to be like 3 different pitches. Now there's like 7.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how many. I would be interested to know what the stat is for how many pitchers in the league have more than 4 pitches in their arsenal. I wonder how many pitchers have that.
When Max Fried played on Saturday, they put up his arsenal count, and he has like 7 or 8 different pitches.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the announcers don't even know what to call because they say sweeper, but it looks like a changeup. So they're like, "What should we call that?"
Yeah, you know what? I wonder what's. You know, a lot of times, you know, I understand the heater that can cause a lot of damage to the body, but that slider, as good of a pitch as it is, it really wreaks havoc on your body the way they throw that thing. I got to be honest with you. If I was a pitcher, I don't know if I'd put the slider in my arsenal because I think that would just heighten up the chances of having to have Tommy John sooner than probably later.
All I know, Tony and Chris, I'm still in first place on the fantasy league, baby. Let's go! Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, you finally got one thing right in your life. Good job.
A question for you guys real quick. Who's your favorite pitcher of all time? Frankie, who's your favorite pitcher of all time?
Oh, man. God. I'm going to have to say Andy Petty. I watched him growing up.
Hey, he's from Deer Park, Texas.
What about you,
Who has a home here?
I also like CC Sabathia too, but if
he's a good one.
it'll be Andy Petty.
Man, that's such a long list of great pitchers, right? I mean, you know, you got the Atlanta Braves of the old school with the Glavins and stuff, Smoltz and stuff. I mean, that team alone during that time period had so many good pitchers on that day. You know, Tom Glavine was probably one of the best. I mean, really, really amazing pitcher. I'm gonna go so old school. We're talking about duration or length of service and pitching. You know, I like to look at the Bartolo Colons. Look at Satchel Paige. If you really want to go way, way back, look how long Satchel Paige pitched. I mean, just amazing. From the Negro leagues all the way into American base or MLB. I mean, that guy was all over the place. But by far and none, I'm always going to go with the strikeout king, and that's Nolan Ryan, baby.
It's who?
You heard me. Nolan Ryan, also known as the Express, because he had 7 no-hitters, and he actually threw 2 no-hitters in his 40s.
No, I just want I honestly didn't hear you. You were a little low, so that's why I was like, wait.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. If you want me to show it to you, it's also right here, baby. Hold on. Let me pull out my creme de la creme, baby.
That fake ball. You bought that at a store, acting like you caught that foul ball and had him sign it.
No, actually, I got it because my aunt was the secretary to George W. Bush when he owned the Rangers, and I got a little interview session with him. It was pretty cool. But anyway, continue, Mish.
It makes total sense now why Jay's a Republican. But we're not talking politics. Let's keep going.
No politics, damn it.
Chris, who's your favorite pitcher of all time?
I got to say Greg Maddux would probably be one of my favorites of all time. I loved watching Greg Maddux pitch. But I'd put him right there. But the other guys I really liked was the big unit, Randy Johnson. I always loved watching him.
Yes, the unit.
And then a couple guys from the Reds, Jose Rio and Rob Dibble.
I'm not gonna lie, Chris. I love you so much, but I thought you were gonna come out saying Pete Rose, Dad. Pete Rose.
I'm surprised nobody said Fernando Valenzuela. Hey, Fernando Valenzuela was freaking amazing too for the Dodgers for a long time.
My favorite was Bob Gibson. St. Louis
Bob
Cardinals.
Gibson.
He was my favorite. And then one I like to watch pitch was Louis Tiant of the Red Sox. The one he's the one that had all the movement and the crazy movement when he pitched. I always enjoyed watching him pitch because he was so different.
That's what I used to love watching Eckersley pitch because of that. Because he was one when I was growing up. He was one of the few guys that threw the sidearm like that. It was something different. So I always liked watching him pitch.
I hate sidearm pitchers. It pisses me off. I don't know. It's just me. Like, I hate it so much because I feel like if I'm in the batter's box and I see that shit, I'm not gonna hit that ball because it's like, what the hell? What is this guy throwing at me? I hate them, but they're so good at how they pitch with the sidearm. It's insane.
Jay, you'll be facing a sidearm pitcher this series. The Giants have one in their reliever that throws sidearm.
Really?
Yeah, Reds faced him the other day. Faced him a couple times in that first series.
Wow. Well, it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you another one, and it's kind of going back way, way old school. This guy was born. He was born in 1950, but J.R. Richard. Nolan Ryan is my favorite ass. Absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. But if you remember all the Astros, not only was Nolan Ryan, I think still the best baseball pitcher in all time, but J.R. Richard, man, he's not very well known, but man, he could pitch. Oh my God, that guy could pitch, man. I remember watching him as a kid growing up, and he had a hell of an arsenal. He played from 1971 to 1980. He drafted in 69.
I seen him pitch live before.
You saw J.R. Richard pitch
against the Reds?
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Hey, Joe, you spelled Astros wrong. It's ASS.
No, he spelled it right. You just didn't graduate high school.
Okay, guys, you want to do NFL?
He spelled it right. He just didn't graduate high school. How do you talk about Joe like that?
No, I'm talking about you. You know who I'm talking about. Show your face on here, you know hair mother. I stopped myself.
You guys want to talk NFL or NBA first?
Woo, let's go NFL because there's a lot to talk about the NBA. Let's go NFL first, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine with me. We had some rule changes. I know they made some changes. They did table the tush push, so that's tabled. I don't think anything's going to get done to that this year.
No.
That's my opinion because it's tied. It's tied 16-16, and they need like 8 more votes to get a change. So, and they said the big thing that we're looking at was. Because some people was trying to get the league to step in and make the change, and the league said if you can give data where it's called, they're trying to say it's called injuries, it's called leg injuries and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
But there's no proof of that. There's no data to back that up. They have no data that proves that there's been injuries because of that. So
yeah, I don't think it's even been around long enough to really have enough data on it. I mean, I think it's still too new of a play. I think for them to be able to formulate that, but let's just be honest. Just call it what it is. The Packers did that because they're the founding four member of the league, and they just don't know how to stop it. And so, they probably are a little upset about it. And they probably do want it banned.
I know. McVay was one of them too.
Yeah,
there was a couple others. I forget the coach's name. I don't think it should be banned. What do you think? Do you think it should be banned?
I think if you ban it, you need to ban the quarterback sneak because it's basically the same play, other than there's somebody behind the guy pushing us. If you're going to ban that because it's too dangerous, you need to ban the quarterback sneak where everybody's just piling up. Because to me, it's just that would be just as dangerous. So I think it's stupid to ban it. But if you're going to ban that, I think you have to get rid of the quarterback sneak play completely because that's really what it is. It's just a variation of a quarterback sneak. Right. If you're saying that's too dangerous. So is a quarterback sneak.
Right. I got to be honest with you guys. I have never been, if you're doing a play, whether it's baseball in the shift or you're doing the NFL with the tush push or whatever else you want to call, if a team is doing something that is not against your rules, that is governed, why are you trying to ban it? Why are we always trying to take strategy out of it? Because the other teams don't know how to stop it. I hate that. I think it's the worst. I think it's the worst damn thing ever. Leave strategy alone. You're taking too much away from these damn coaches.
See, I'm glad they got. I don't want them to get rid of the tush push. I don't think it should be banned, but if they do, like I said, they should ban both. But I actually am a fan of that baseball got rid of the shift. I think it's.
I mean, it sucks. Of course you are. You're the Green Bay Packers of the Major League Baseball. Of course you are. I mean, I would be too. No, seriously, if I couldn't hit the ball the other direction or couldn't figure it out as a professional player, I'd probably hate it too.
I didn't say that. I'm not a professional player, so that's not why. That's not why. That's not why.
I'm just trying to rile you up. I'm trying to rile the Chihuahua inside you right now.
I'm glad they got rid of the shift because it's helped the game of baseball be a whole lot better product in whole.
How is that? How did it? No, I'm not trying to be rude, but how has it made baseball be a better product?
Because with the shift, all we was watching was strikeouts or a pop out. Now we're actually getting action. We're actually getting base hits. You asked me to explain, but you're not going to let me finish. So I guess that was my explanation.
I hate when I do that.
I see both sides of it. I see Jay's point, man. I see your point.
Yeah, but if you look at what baseball did, they didn't just ban the shift. What they did, they changed the rule. You can still shift your guys around. They just changed it where if you're a second baseman, you got to be on this side of second base. You can't go all the way to the other side of the field. Or if you're an infielder, you can't be playing all the way in the outfield. So they didn't just ban it. They just changed they changed the rules a little bit. Where on this, they're just wanting to completely ban it.
Yeah, second baseman can't go past the top corner of the second base bag. Same goes for the shortstop. Yeah.
But again, you guys are taking strategy away. Whatever you think is good or not good for a baseball, you're totally taking strategy away. Hey, look, what they did was completely in the rules. Now all of a sudden, because we do something, now you want to rechange the rules. Well, hell, how many times are we going to rechange the damn rules?
Let me ask you a question. Are you a fan of the pitch clock?
No, I'm not. I don't like. I mean, again, I know why they did it. They did it to speed up the game because I will tell you, I think when you start changing the pitch clock, you start changing people's routines, you start changing strategy because a lot of times baseball is just as much psychological as it is physical. So why are you taking away a psychological advantage of a pitcher or a batter for that matter?
So by your theory, a batter should be able to go up to the plate and take 10 minutes messing with gloves, doing all this just to try to get in the pitcher's head.
Well, I don't know if any batter. I mean, that's an over exaggeration. Let's bring it in a little bit because nobody takes 10 minutes.
Some of them would take 5 minutes. There were some of them that took a long time. They would step out after every pitch, do all that. But since that's strategy, we should leave that in the game, right? That's strategy because they're trying to get.
If it's within the rules, honestly, to answer, if it's within the rules, really, I mean, if it's in the rules, why are you changing the damn game?
Because sometimes you got to make new rules to make the game better.
I don't know. I'm old school, Tony. I can't relate with these millennials.
Baseball's better now that it moves a little smoother. You don't have all the extra time of the guys messing around. You don't think the game is.
But a lot of that is routine. Look, baseball. Look, you know that as well as I do. Hell, I'm the most superstitious cat out here. A lot of that stuff is patterns and routines, and if that's what they need to do to get their mind right to go hit the ball, and it's not against the rule book, I'm not going to take that away from them. Same thing with pitchers. Pitchers are very routine-oriented people. Why are you trying to mess with that routine? It worked for hundreds of years. Now all of a sudden you want to go start changing up the rules. Well, change up the rules and call it a different game.
Why did they change the rule, Jay?
Oh, they changed up the rule, like Gonzo just said, to make it go faster or make it more relatable to the younger audiences who don't have that kind of patience like the old school guys do.
Hey, I'm an old school guy, and it was very tough for me to watch 3.5 hour baseball game.
That's because you're old.
I'm an old school guy. Just like you said, I'm an old school guy. I mean, I can
on TV.
On TV. In the ballpark, it's a different story. I'll admit to that. But watching on TV, I'm a big Reds fan. It'd be hard for me to watch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3.5 hours of my time to watch the Reds. And then not only do I have that, I watch Dodger games with my wife because she's a Dodgers fan sometimes when she's home late night, and we watch those games. It's very tough. It's a lot easier to digest a 2.5 hour game. That's just my opinion.
Well, I understand. And look, your opinions are valid. I don't want to like say your opinions and what you're saying isn't valid. I don't. I just hate. I guess the point I'm trying to say is I don't like when you start messing with strategy. A coach, especially with baseball. Baseball ain't like basketball. It's not like I'm gonna say because football is a lot of strategy too, and basketball is too. I don't want to take that away. But there is a lot of strategy and psychological crap that goes on in baseball to mess with somebody's head, trying to figure out what the next pitch is going to be. Showing tippings and things like that. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Let me ask you this question real quick. Are you a fan of these robo umpires that they want to do with the strike zone?
Yeah. And I will tell you why.
That contradicts everything you just said.
No, because you're not going against strategy.
There's a whole lot of strategy there, buddy.
No, well, I'm glad you called me your buddy because I thought you didn't like.
You don't think there's strategy there?
No, I guess what I'm saying is I think the difference between I don't want to talk out both sides of my mouth, but I do think with the robo umpire, it takes away. Somebody else's, because there's too many different variations of the strike zone, right? You got one guy calling it this way, one guy calling it the way. How many times have we seen pitches that were balls and get called strikes and vice versa? I think with the robo umpire, you're going to get a much cleaner strike zone to where they can operate from. You're not changing the strike zone. You're not changing anything about it. You're just keeping the strike zone the same for every single player, every single time, to where you're not having to guess what this dude's thing is. Now, if you want to call that, well, Jay, that's part of the game. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna go against that because I understand that viewpoint as well. So yeah, I don't want to talk about both sides of my mouth on that. I just feel like that's not so much strategy as it is more clarification on the actual rule book strike zone.
I mean, there's a lot of strategy goes into the strike zone with the catcher. I mean, that affects everything.
Watch. Hey, that ball could be caught here, but by the time the umpire looks at it, it's here. So yeah, I know how they.
No, not a good umpire. You know why? If you're a good umpire, you don't call the pitch where the catcher catches it because you know what? That's not the strike zone. The strike zone's over the plate.
No, I understand that, but a lot of times they try to frame it. Yeah, but a lot of times what I'm saying is a lot of times those catchers try to frame it.
Oh no, catchers do try to frame it, but if you're a good umpire, you're not calling it all for the catcher catches. You're calling it all for it comes.
I'm cracking that. I just wonder how many good umpires are in the league right now. Because I can tell you multiple times where I've been angry at seeing where they're because you. And then I know Frankie's been angry at the way the balls are and stuff. And I know you guys are too. I mean, there's been multiple instances where we're like, that wasn't a strike. How is he even seeing that? It's clearly outside the. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of instances where we've been angry about it.
Frankie, what do you think about all that? Maybe he's not there.
Oh, he's there. He has. I think he's muted. Oh no, you're not muted. Frankie, you there? Nah, he's not there. Let's move on.
Okay.
Frankie was smoking. He probably passed out on the couch.
Okay. Do we have anything else on baseball?
Oh man,
football. Back to baseball. Okay, but it's back to the NFL then, because we was talking about NFL. The overtime rule is probably one of the biggest changes. It's just basically going to be the same throughout the game. Correct? Ain't that right, Chris? It's going to be the same throughout the game now.
It's going to be the same as what it was as it is in the playoffs and the regular season.
Okay.
Which I think was a good change. Why it shouldn't be different in regular season? I think regular season playoffs should be the same.
Yeah, no, and I think we even said that or talked about that while they were talking about before it got to the committee. So no, I'm actually a favor of all that. I'm just curious to see where this tush push goes in terms of that. But the overtime and things like that, the kickoffs and all that. I mean, I think we all talked about that yesterday. How we thought that those are good things to put forward. Except for I don't know. Were you guys challenging whether or not it was going to be a good idea for the records to be reflective for where the seeding is versus division winners over wild cards and things like that? Yeah, I don't think that's gone. As a matter of fact, that may be going to vote today. I don't think they've quite voted on that one yet.
Yeah, they haven't made a decision on that yet.
Okay.
What do you think it should be? You think they should keep it the same or they should change it?
I think they should change it. I think they should. if you win the division, if you win your division, you should get a playoff spot. But I think that's enough. I don't think you should be guaranteed a top 4 seed in a home game. I mean, I think winning your division and getting a playoff spot, I think that's a big enough reward. And then I think you should reseed it so you're getting the better matchups.
I've seen some NFL people talking about today, and they said they don't think it's going to go through. They think
I don't think it's going to
stay the same.
I don't think it'll go through because I think they're going to keep it how it's been. It's been that way, and it's popular and it's working. So I don't think they will. But I would like to see them because I just think it sucks when you see a team get out of a division with an 8-9 record, and then a team that's 14-2 has to go there and play.
A perfect example was Detroit, Minnesota last year was playing that game. Minnesota lost, ended up 14-3, and had to go on the road for the whole playoffs. Even though they had a lot better record than
next time win the game next time, and you wouldn't have to do that. Stop crying, Minnesota. Boo hoo.
Well, that's why Detroit is the one that brought that to light, and they even won the game.
Then you know what? Go to the committee and ask if you could switch with somebody in that division and go ahead and run through that division, that soft, sorry division of a leader that's 8-9 or whatever and won their division, and they get a home game versus you because they won their division, okay? And you couldn't beat Minnesota. Minnesota couldn't beat Detroit. And I get what you say, Tony. Detroit's the one that brought it up, which was dumb on my part or in their part. Why would they? You won in your favor. Right, you got the first round bye. You had home field. You must have felt sorry for yourself because after your bye week you ended up losing anyway. But I think it should stay the same. I don't care.
I think it will stay the same. I think.
And I hear what you guys are saying. Chris wants to change and other people want to change and stuff like that. But listen, that's the way it's run. All right, it's division leaders for a reason. It's not better record seating for a reason or anything like that. It's division leaders. So if you're sorry can't handle the fact that you're a 14 and something team that have to go on the road and play an 8-9 team or whatever in their home turf, too bad. Guess what? Win that one important game that you need to win so you can get home field advantage if you feel more comfortable at home.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I also see, if I'm in a very tough division, for example, the NFC North or the Buffalo, I forget the AFC, I think it's East, the one that the Buffalo Bills are in. If you're in a super tough division and you got to get seated lower because you're in a tough division versus a weak division, I don't think that's good for football. How is having a 7-9 team who wins their division? How is that good for football to have them seated above the 12-4s or 13-3s or whatever the case may be?
Is it their fault that they're in a weird division that's weak? Is it their fault that they won?
No, it's their fault that they're 7-9.
It's not their fault though.
They're 7-9 is not their fault.
They're 7-9. That means everybody else didn't go 7-9. Everybody else was lower winnings. They had lower winnings. That's not their fault.
I understand that. No, that's obvious. But I'm saying, you think 7-9 should be seated higher than?
Yes, because they won their division, Jay. It's their division.
I don't know, man. I just have a hard time with that. For football purposes, I have a hard time with that. I think you're letting a weak team take a playoff spot higher than a more deserved. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Really look at it. Does it really matter? Like a 7-9 team or whatever is they won their division. They're in the playoffs. They get home field game. Cool. And then they're going up a team that won 14 games. Wouldn't you expect that 14-win team to go in there and just annihilate the team that won 7 games?
Yeah, but what sucks for that 14-win team is if they do go there and annihilate them, they're on the road the next game no matter what because of their seeding. Where
you better be praying that the higher seed team lose like Detroit did.
My thing is, if you want to give the division winner a home game, that's fine. Give them the home game, but you should seed them by records. That way, if that team gets beat, the team that's 15-2 can have a chance to get a home game next playoff round. So if you want to give them teams a home game, give them the home game. But that seeding matters because it affects the rest of the playoffs.
That's a very good point. Yeah. I don't know. I think we talked about earlier how some things need to be changed, some things don't. I think that's one of the things that does need to be changed. I did think it, like you said, Tony, or Chris, it hurts the ones that have a good record because, like you said, in the rest of the playoffs, they still got the damn away game, even though they have a better team.
There's a 6 or 5 or 6 seed, no matter what the record is. So now whoever they play is going to be a higher seed than them, so they're automatically on the road to the whole playoffs.
This is kind of like I kind of like that a little bit. Joe says they should do like college football strength of schedule.
Oh no,
I don't know that.
But we already talked shit about the committee and how they do their rankings.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea. I kind of agree with what you said, Chris. Give the division winner gets their home playoff game, but then you seed it, like the top seeds. I see what you're saying. So I think that'd be fair.
Hold on, because Jay, and I'm not attacking you, but like you're just like us. You're the biggest person like us that hates the committee on college football because of the way they do their seedings and the way they, put people where they put. And then you put up Joe's thing, and you're like, I kind of agree with that.
No, I didn't see the strength of schedule. I couldn't read very well, so I just put it up, and then I said I thought I agree with it, but then when I saw strength of schedule, I don't like strength of schedule. I don't. I never have like strength of schedule.
It's hard to do strength of schedule because not everybody. It's not a balanced schedule. Not everybody plays the same
exactly.
schedule.
Exactly. That's kind of out of your control in terms of what your schedule comes out. That's driven otherwise, but. I do like the fact that I do like how they do it by your record versus other stuff. Like it used to be in college football. Correct me if I'm wrong. It used to be conference winners got the first 4. I think it was correct.
That's how it's still like that in college football. They need to change that as well.
Yeah,
because that's like this year. That's like this year. You had Ohio State and Oregon, who a lot of people thought were the 2 of the top teams. They had to play in the quarterfinals because Boise State and another team got automatic top 4 seed.
Is it really though? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but last year Texas lost to Georgia in the SEC showdown, but because of their record, Texas was seated higher.
No, Georgia went higher.
Huh?
Georgia went higher. They were the top 4. They were a top 4 team.
Yeah. Man, why am I thinking? Man, for some reason, okay. I'm sorry, my brain. For some reason, I had them lower than that. Okay. Anyway, all right. Then I guess Then that just proves the point. I'm sorry, you guys were correct.
Yeah, because college football needs to change how they do it as well.
But Jay, the real reason why they overjumped you guys is because that's the only two losses you got was against Georgia.
Right.
So
right. Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. Frankie, you got to carry this show. I got to get to a VA appointment. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Well, the only thing we had left was the NBA. and I think Dave was going to argue about the NBA.
He didn't talk about it. He didn't want to talk about it.
He's smiling.
He's like the whole show, like, let's wait until the end because we got a lot to talk about NBA. And then we get to the segment and he's like, all right, guys, it's 3:00. I got to go. I'll see you tomorrow. What a softie. He could have handled the fact that the Houston Rockets lost to the Los Angeles Lakers, baby.
I watched a little bit of it.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of it.
I was flipping the Dodgers game and I watched more of the Dodgers game than I did the Rockets game, but I did watch some of it.
I didn't watch it. I watched some of the Reds, and I was listening to the Pacers, listening to some of the Pacer game on the radio.
It was absolutely amazing. Okay, the Rockets were starting off on fire. They were doing everything that I expected them to do last night. Was trying to attack the paint, which they did early on, but then everybody in the Lakers towards the end of the first quarter started stepping up. LeBron, turning from doing what he's doing, he turned into a defensive guy, staying in the paint, stopping the big guys. Same with Rui Hachimura and all these other dudes. It was an absolute good game. Both teams led as much as 8 points, 10 points. But once the Lakers got that good, comfortable lead in the third quarter, they just kept it going and kept the foot on the pedal and ended up with a victory, man. LeBron with an amazing block to end the game. I couldn't be more proud of the Lakers, man. We got one more showdown against them in 2 weeks, but it was an absolute victorious and great.
Oh, somehow something happened. He got muted.
Yeah.
It sounds like it. I didn't watch it. It sounds like it was kind of similar to the game the Pacers had against the Lakers last week.
Yeah.
We lost on that 0.1 second tip, but I heard a couple guys on talking today on the radio, and and last night. I think it was last night actually, but I haven't watched enough of Houston. But they were saying that they think Houston, something that could come to hurt Houston in the playoffs, making a deep run, is their half court offense. Is if they can't get out and run, that they think they're going to struggle against the better teams.
I can see that because when I seen them, they were on a run, and they were running, and they went on about 8 or 10 point run. They looked pretty good, and then in the third quarter, well, it was tied at halftime, but then in the third quarter, it was more half court when I was watching for 3 or 4 minutes, and you seen them kind of struggle some then. So I could see that. I haven't seen a lot of those games. I'm not going to say I'm an expert by any. Houston's not a team I watch a lot of.
Billy, that's not true.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on the internet, man. There's all kinds of stuff on the internet, man. Today, April Fool's. So there's all kinds of stuff.
If that is true, I'm not going to be a Colts fan no more.
Damn, man. I had saw news earlier that Derek Jeter was coming out of retirement to rejoin the Yankees, and I got all excited.
Well, I seen one that was they was trading. The big player for the Dodgers was going to the Yankees for Judge. As one of the April Fool ones.
Hey, Frankie, let me ask you this. I don't know if you heard the question when I asked Dad about it. No, I'd heard a couple guys talking on the radio, and they were saying that they think Houston's going to struggle in the playoffs if they can't run because of they say that Houston struggles in the half court. I haven't watched enough of them, but like Dad said, he noticed that a little bit last night in that Laker game in the third quarter. The Lakers were forcing Houston to have to play more half court, and they wasn't scoring like they were in the first half. Do you think that's something that could hurt Houston in the playoffs? Is their half court?
Oh yeah, so yeah, I watched that game. Like I said yesterday, I tried to go to bed early, but I couldn't keep my eyes off the TV because it was a must-watch game. And what I've noticed is the half-court pressure that we put on Houston, and that's the reason why we kept in the pace with them, and that's how we were able to get some transition defense, transition offense, because the Lakers are known with LeBron thinking he's a football quarterback throwing from full court to whoever's open in the other end, and Luka's doing the same thing. So we were playing really well against them, and I agree with that scenario. If that's going to be a problem for Houston now, especially with only I think 8 or 9 games left into the season, I mean, people are right now noticing it, and they're going to see it, and they're going to attack it come playoff time.
Yep. Because the guys on the radio were saying when they play against the Lakers and like the Nuggets, especially like the Nuggets, the team that will slow the pace down a little bit, that they think Houston could struggle because if they can't get out and run.
I seen what OKC did to the Bulls, man.
Okay, yeah, OKC's on fire right now.
Man. I don't know right now where they're playing. I don't know if anybody's gonna beat them the way they're playing right now, but still got some time to get to the playoffs. They could cool down.
You know who reminded me like this? Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. When they won so many games, they beat the Bulls record. And guess who stopped them at the end, Tony? LeBron James and his team. And guess who's going to stop OKC? LeBron James and our team. OKC, KFC, USC. Lakers in 5.
Well, one thing I could see hurting OKC some is they're not going to get SGA is not going to get the foul calls that he gets in the regular season in the playoffs. So I don't think he's going to get as many free throw attempts, and I think that could come to hurt OKC is they're not going to get some of these foul calls in the regular season because Frankie, you know how it is that it's ref totally different in the playoffs. They let the guys get a lot more physical, and I think that could hurt OKC some in the playoffs.
Yeah, they definitely like to let them play a little bit tougher than it is in regular season. They definitely call obviously some calls that are visible to us and watching it from home. But some of those easy calls that they do in the regular season, yeah, they don't do it in the playoffs. And I just want to touch up on what Joe just said. He said Lakers won because they were home and it actually was a close game. Yes, it was a close game, Joe. But realistically, I'm not gonna sit here and keep sugarcoating my team and stuff like that. We do have the third best home record in basketball right now, but I don't think home or on the road, like I don't think it's got nothing to do with it. Like Houston was just in Phoenix and they just blew out Phoenix, so that's got nothing to do with them being home or them being on the road. It's just the way that they were playing basketball. The Lakers stepped up. The Lakers did something that I didn't see in a while. You got Luca, who didn't shoot really well, LeBron, who didn't shoot very well, Austin Reeves, who didn't shoot very well, but they ended up being the defensive guys because who was shooting up very well? Gabe Vincent and the guy that we got from the Brooklyn Nets, Dory Finney-Smith.
Yep.
So like you got those two who are making crazy amounts of threes. They got great points, great rebounds, a good amount of assists. So it's like when you play that style of basketball where like the three starters aren't producing on the points, but they're producing defensively, you can see that other people are getting opportunities and playing better when they have that style of play. So it's got nothing to do with home court or road or on the road. It's just the way you play the basketball game.
I think the key for the Lakers to do well is just be consistent. Their role players have to be more consistent. I think if they do that, I think Lakers could still go a long way. But they got to be their role players got to be more consistent.
Yeah, Gilchrist Alexander averaging 9 free throw attempts per game, which is second in NBA.
And you don't think that'll go down?
I just don't. I don't think he's going. And when you rely on what we've seen in the past with like James Harden, look with him in the playoffs, he would get a lot of foul calls, and when he was with Houston during the regular season, got in the playoffs, they didn't get them calls, didn't get to the free throw line as much, and it can impact your team.
Well, Chris, that's because James Harden never shows up in the playoffs. You can't get foul calls if you don't show up in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's important for Houston to get that number 2 seed if they want to go to the next round. I think if they drop out and go to a 3 or 4 seed, I think Houston could go out the first round because lack of experience in the playoffs. I think if they get a 2 seed and they play a 7 seed, I think they're going to have a better chance. But if they're play a 3 playing a 6 or a 4 playing a 5, I think they could be in trouble.
Well, the coaching wasn't actually like. And I don't want to, put Idaka down because he's a good coach and he's doing really well with the Rockets. But the way he coached last night was very weird. Like, he didn't play Jalen Green basically the entire fourth quarter. That's one of your best shooters. And I wanted to mention that to Jay because I feel like if they would have had him in there, they would have had a better opportunity and kind of tying this game and going into overtime or actually winning this game. But they kept their 3 big men in there majority of the fourth quarter, going defense instead of going on the offensive mode. And the Lakers just kept up with that and haven't, not giving them very much time to try and at least compete to come back.
Sounds a lot like the Pacer-Laker game last week where Carlisle set Halliburton most of the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
Hey,
I know that didn't make sense.
I ain't mad.
I was cussing the whole time. Like,
oh, I wasn't mad.
I tell you, hey, Pacers pulled one out last night, but it wasn't. But it wasn't pretty. But we were able to pull it out.
I know what Frankie thinks on this, or at least I think I do. I want to ask Chris this: what Joe just put up there. He thinks that Houston will get the number 2 seed, and if they play the Lakers, they'll take the Lakers. Do you think they can beat the Lakers in a 7-game series?
I mean, I think they're. I mean, they could. Anybody can be anybody.
Who would you favor?
Would I pick them to right now? No, right now I would pick the Lakers to beat them in the playoff series because the Lakers with experience of Luka and LeBron They got it's just and nothing against that. It's just Houston's young, just like the Pacers last year. They were a real young team. No, we really didn't know what to expect of them going into playoffs against the Bucks. That first, you know, what I mean, now this year I feel a whole lot different about the Pacers. We have some playoff experience, and right now we have the second. If you in the last 10 games, we have the second best record out of all the teams in the East. We're 7-3, and I think the Cavs the Celtics are better, have a better record in this last 10 games. Other than that,
We got to play better though. This getting behind and coming back bullshit. I don't like that.
oh no, we didn't play great last night,
We won, but we didn't play great.
but this time of year is right now. We get a couple of wins, stay in that top 4, and stay healthy. I mean, I mean that's really the most important thing.
That's key for all the teams.
I'm glad that you guys won, but the way you guys played is Glenn's fault.
It's all Glenn's
fault. Yeah, he came in and he jinxed it, so then it like confused the Pacers. They didn't know if they wanted to win, if they wanted to lose, play good, play bad. They're like, let's play bad, but let's get the win.
We get in the playoffs. Glenn ain't allowed on the show.
Sabonis got off to a hell of a start. He was cooking in that first half, and then
I like Sabonis. I feel bad that he's still with the Kings, though.
I always was a big Sabonis fan. I'll be honest with you, and that's gonna make some people mad. I would have rather Sabonis stayed and we'd got rid of Turner at the time it would have happened.
God, you guys had Sabonis?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But did Halliburton come over in that trade? I mean, right on that. So we got Halliburton and we gave up Sabonis. But I would have rather gave up Turner if we could have been done. And I know that I'm gonna make some people mad saying that. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Turner has played.
Turner's played well.
Turner's a good player. I like Turner, but I was a big Sabonis fan as well.
Yeah, I could have had Bronny. I would have took Miles. I do know the guy, the center from the Clippers. I keep forgetting his name. It's like a Russian dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
The Lakers had him, but then we ended up giving him away.
I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Now he plays crazy. God, the things I would do if I was the Lakers to get Sabonis on this team. Like, if we were to add Sabonis on this team, oh my God. Oh,
that'd be good.
We'll run through the West. That would be the actual big guy right there. Because let's not forget, AD couldn't stop Sabonis. Never. He literally has so much trouble going up against Sabonis. Regular season playoff, he could not stop Sabonis. I think he has a crazy win-loss record on AD. Yeah.
Well, guys, got anything else?
Yeah, I can't wait for the Yankees to play tonight and smash Corbin Burns and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Oh, we're home. Torpedoes on fire, baby. Let's go.
They actually have the Diamondbacks as a slight favorite in that game.
That's cool.
Kind of surprised me when I was looking at the lines earlier.
Yeah, that's surprising. Is it called Burns pitching?
I would assume that's why. But yeah, when I was looking earlier, I was like, it surprised me that they had him as a slight favorite. Not much. It was close to a pick 'em earlier.
So I'm gonna be real with you guys. I have Burns on my fantasy league, and I would love to see the Yankees dominate him, but then again, it's gonna hurt me on my fantasy league.
They almost have it as a pick 'em. They have the Diamondbacks at -116 and the Yankees at -102, so they almost have it as a pick 'em.
I hope we beat them, but I hope we don't. I hope we beat them in the bench.
Reds are slight underdogs today against the Rangers.
Who they got pitching?
They have Evaldi pitching.
I have him too. Oh, I have him too. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm hoping we put up 14 runs like we did last night.
Just don't do it on him.
We went off in that. Well, we were pounding the ball the whole game. That sixth inning, we went off and scored 6 or 7 runs in that inning.
That's when Singer pitched, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he pitched well.
I wrote you guys. I got him on my fantasy. I didn't expect that. I was just like a late pickup because I needed someone to like start that day. And I saw the numbers he put up, and I'm like, ooh. I kept him now. Now I'm keeping him.
He pitched pretty well for Kansas. It went by the wayside because he lost games that he probably shouldn't have lost, but he pitched pretty decent last year.
Yeah, I thought he was a good pickup for the Reds this year, and he looked like last night.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he can keep pitching like that. But our starting pitching has been pretty good. Our starting pitching has been all 4 games has been pretty solid.
I also got one of your. I think who's your second baseman?
McLean.
I have him as my second baseman.
Dude,
he's been putting numbers up for me.
Oh, dude. His rookie year, he was our best player, and then last year he was hurt, and then this year he's gotten off to a good start. But yeah, he's good. He'll put up some good numbers.
That's why I'm still in first place because like people are trying to catch up to me, but like every day for some odd reason I'm scoring like 100 to 150 points. So, like they can't come and catch up to me. Now I'm on a comfortable like lead. I got like close to 100 points higher than the person in second place. But I explained to I'm gonna like explain it to Jay though because they keep asking me like how am I doing, and I'm like I just got the good hitters, bro. Like you guys are looking for good like pitching, but like you don't understand that these pitchers only pitch every 5 days. You got to get the hitters that you know that's gonna get you the most points, and that's what I did. I went out and I got the best hitters, and I just made a trade that I got accepted today. And I can't wait, and I already put them in my starting lineup. I traded Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette to our boy Cody for Aaron Judge. And I was like, yes. I accepted that trade right away. At first it was just gonna be for him and Gladdy. But then he added in Bo Bichette, and I'm like, you know what, I'll still do it. I don't care. Give me my captain.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Oh yeah.
Well, you get out of here?
Yep. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok, Instagram, all at ESEN and Gonzo Sports Room. And we'll see you guys tomorrow right around 2 o'clock. Of course, I gotta find